Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Conkeldurr with Brutal Swing in the Open Great League. We got some battles sent to us with the new move here, but yeah, of course, it's most likely not going to be the craziest Pokemon ever, but still going to be interesting to take a look at. Gaining a little bit of better coverage, plus a faster move to get to. Going to be nice for the Conkeldurr here, as we're going to see in this team here as well. We're going to see the Charm Ninetales in the lead. We're going to have the Sayswap, I guess, of Double and the Conkeldurr in the back. The team is okay. I still see already some issues with this team though, which we can talk about a little bit later. But here already, I guess I like the backline of having Double to try to bait out something like the Medicham to, align your other Pokemon against it, your Charm user against it, which I guess does make some sense. But if you take a look at Charm plus Counter, there is a common weakness, which is the Poison typing here. So I wonder if there's going to be some gameplay against some Poison types later on. We will see, but here we're going to be able to farm down the opponent's Medicham, as we gonna see a Zoomer coming in. This can be a little bit tricky. You don't really have the coverage for this Pokemon as you shield up the Play Rough. You kind of have to shield up the Play Rough. You can go for a Dynamic Punch here, as this Dynamic Punch is going to go ahead and do some solid damage, but you're still forced to go for another Brutal Swing here. I think it was a really bad timing in terms of a fast move. I think they got an extra bubble through, which, yeah, okay, the opponent's still going to get to another charge move, and I think this was going to be a loss early on here, as Zoomer sadly kind of hardwalls you, and in general, every single Fairy-type Pokemon going to hardwall your moveset on your Conkeldurr, which is the thing which kind of bothers me, where maybe even Stone Edge would have been the better move to go for, because Stone Edge going to give you coverage against like flying type Pokemon as well as like ice type Pokemon, and they're like something, I mean, Frosters, you're going to have already the new Brutal Swing against it, but I don't know if you really need Dynamic Punch in the current meta, as you already do a ton of damage with Counter, so I feel like actually that Stone Edge might be the better move to go for instead of Dynamic Punch, but at least PvPoke still says that Dynamic Punch is better, and I guess on calculations is better as well, but at least I feel like that Stone Edge might be a little bit better on this Pokemon at the current time. Here we're going to see another Medicham, as we will see as well that the Double can go for some Body Slams. Again, I also just woke up, by the way. If I sound a little bit weird, that's most likely why. We're going to see the Ice Punch gonna not get the knockout. That's going to be amazing for you, as the Body Slam is gonna do some decent damage. Gonna put them into range where you might be able to just charm them down. I think you wanted to go for the charge move there, but I don't think it really went through for you, as they're gonna go for a Psychic and knock you out here, so it's all down to Conkeldurr. Can Conkeldurr win this game? They can farm them all the way down, and the Dynamic Punch is coming through, which is gonna do a ton of damage, knocking out the opponent's Galarian Stunfisk and winning this game. So actually there, Conkeldurr really did something decent, as we can move on to the next game, where we're gonna encounter a Jellicent here in the lead, which is gonna go straight for the Surf, I guess, here, as this was after... Okay, they have Bubble Beam, never mind. This was after 4, so this could have been the Surf, but couldn't have been the Shadow Ball yet. So we all see the Body Slam coming through now. Let's see if they're going to shield this move up. They do, as the Toxic Rock is definitely something that's a little bit awkward for this team. I guess it's fine if you have shield still here. Shielding up the Mud Bomb can be a little bit tricky, but I guess they're going to try to get some Body Slam damage onto them, which I guess is fine. You are not going to be able to reach another one though, which is a little bit awkward, and you're forced to go into your Ninetales and shield up the move, because you have to get some charm damage in. As counter damage will be resisted here, we're gonna see another charm coming through. The Jellicent is coming back in. As you're gonna go for the Psyshock, maybe you could have just went for the Weather Ball. It's likely that they shield, yeah, exactly. And they're gonna go for a charge move here, which is going to be the Shadow Ball. So we're gonna see the swap out now immediately to the Conkeldurr, as your HP were too low on the Ninetales, and we can at least see the Brutal Swing coming in clutch here, getting the knockout against the Jellicent, which would have been not the case before. And if the opponent is running the Dazzling Gleam, you're going to be fine here. I don't think the Weather Ball knocks you out, and they're running Psyshock, so yeah, never mind. So yeah, this was a little bit of an awkward game there. I think if the opponent would have ran for the normal moveset, he might have been able to knock them out there, but here we're gonna see again, as I said before, of course Poison types look to be a little bit of an issue for this team, as every fast move on this team is resisted by Poison typing, which is not really ideal. But here we're gonna see the Altaria coming in actually. This is an interesting Pokemon, as it's not really going to be a meta Pokemon nowadays. It kinda got nerfed, but still actually kinda okay. Like, I think like people kinda underestimate how strong Altaria still is. Yes, it takes you 2 more fast moves, I think, to get to your charge move, but still, it's not really that much. It's literally 2 turns, so it's still a very strong Pokemon. Here we see the swap into the Ninetales, which is a little bit risky, because now you're locked into this Pokemon against a Venusaur, so not sure if this was a play to go for here. You're going to use a shield as well. I would have not done this most likely. I would have most likely went to try to basically clean up the game with the Conkeldurr. Now you're going to let this move go through, wasting the energy that you just gained from the shield, so not sure if this is really ideal, but I guess they have Abound on the deck, so this is going to be fine for you, as you can go for the Brutal Swing, but again, I don't really know if this was the ideal play to go for in general. You can use a shield here against the Weather Ball, I guess, but you still maybe have to catch a move. I'm not sure about it, but the Brutal Swing is coming through here, and we will see that they going to decide to let this move go through, which I find weird. I think the Abound still had a chance of winning this game, but we can move on to the next one. Great lead for you here with the Medicham. Double comes in, and you can swap into your Conkeldurr, which can pressure them a lot with just the counter already. So in comes now the Brutal Swing, gonna get shielded by the opponent, and you can use the shield as well if you want to, but I guess you can still survive one body slam with the Conkeldurr, as we gonna see now a shield coming up. You might be able to farm down. I think you should be able to farm down from this range, and you will be. So now we're gonna see most likely, oh no, we're actually not gonna see the Medicham. Here again, Stone Edge would have been cool on the Pokemon. I think Stone Edge is the better move to go for still, but in comes now most likely the 9-tier. Oh hey, this is not really ideal. You should have went to the double. This was a clear misplay, as you saw the lead already being the Medicham. This is really awkward to deal with now for you. So that's really, really awkward. We're gonna see a shield coming up here for the Ninetales, but still, we know what they have in the lead, and the lead is very good for your Ninetales, but not so good for the Pokemon in the back, which is the double here. So at least you're going to be able to catch a move here onto the double, which is the Aerial Ace, and yeah, again, the Medicham would have been so much better on the Charm user, of course, so don't know really why you didn't go into the double there, but still we're gonna see the Body Slam coming through, as we're going to see now that this is going to do around, like, yeah, 1/3 of the opponent's health. We can still see another Body Slam coming through from the double, getting them low enough that one Charm would be enough to knock them out, but you still actually had a Weather Ball stored, so I guess it's going to be fine for you, but again, I don't think this was perfectly played, just for you for the next time. Might be something to improve on. Next one, we're going to be another Medicham, but they are running the Psycho Cut here for whatever reason. Going straight for a charge move, going to be the Power Punch. What a weird moveset. Like, if you play Medicham, I mean, I kind of want to try out Psycho Cut, not gonna lie. I think it's going to be a fun one to look at, because I feel like it's better in the nowadays meta to have Psycho Cut, because you should be able to beat something like a Gligar fairly easily with that, as you're going to be able to outspeed them, and just 2 Ice Punches are enough to one-shot them, and you're going to be able to also go for Dynamic Punch otherwise. So I feel like Psycho Cut on Medicham is actually kind of funny right now, but not with Power Punch. Like, you literally don't gain anything from Power Punch with Psycho Cut, as your fast move is not doing any damage at all with it. So, like, yeah. But Psycho Cut Medicham actually something interesting. Maybe I kind of want to try to take a look at this one. There are a lot of Pokemon that I kind of want to try out, but yeah. We're going to see here that the Pelipper is going to get the knockout against you. You can still get some farm, as they're going to have a Register in the back. You can swap out into your Conkeldurr, and you're going to have to shield up the incoming Zapcan, most likely, which is going to get the debuff. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit awkward, but I think you can still just go for the Brutal Swing spam here, as Brutal Swing going to get the opponent low enough, but they decide to shield up anyway. You can shield up as well, and you should be in a very decent spot here as the Zapcan comes through. No debuff this time around, and it's only the Register, so you can just go for the Dynamic Punch and knock them out. So, good game there. Let's take a look at the next opponent. Going to have the MEWeedle in the lead, allowing you to swap out into your double immediately, as you can go for the payback. Here at least, you can still survive one superpower for sure, which they're gonna go for, and you can go for the payback now afterwards, which is gonna do some pretty decent damage against the opponent if they would let it go, but they decide to shield up, and you can just use the shield advantage for your Conkeldurr, I would say. Just go into the Conkeldurr, as the opponent gonna swap out into the Azumarill. This is a little bit awkward, but you can use a shield and swap out then into your Ninetales most likely, which would be the best shot here. You're gonna still go for Dynamic Punch. I don't really agree with this play either, but you can still try to go up to another one and now swap out onto the charge move. Might be an Ice Beam, might be the Play Rough. We will find out shortly. We're gonna see the Play Rough coming through, as they can go for the Charm down against the opponent here, as they can still go for another charge move. This might be a Play Rough, and you decide to shield this move up. It's just the Ice Beam though. And let's see what's coming in back. Of course, it's going to be the MEWeedle here, which is gonna get definitely still the knockout against you. You're gonna get shield from them, which is kind of nice, as they decide to go for their own move, which is most likely the Rock Slide. Exactly, and you can now go for the full farm down, as you have a Flygon on the back. This should be an easy win for you. Just go for 2 charge moves here. 1 Dynamic Punch, 1 Brutal Swing. or you just gonna let yourself get KO'd by a Dragon Claw. Again, you would have been able to win this game if you just went for your charge moves, but it's fine, I guess. Next opponent, we're gonna see the Poliwrath against you, as they're gonna swap out into a Gligar. You will be able to just go for the Weather Ball Ice, which is gonna do some decent damage on, like, knock them out if they let this move go through, but you're just gonna get a shield advantage here, which I kinda agree with. This is definitely the play to go for, as you can now try to swap out into your Dub Wall, taking the moves a little bit easier, as well as later on aligning against the Poliwrath again, which is exactly what you're supposed to do here, as we're gonna see the Body Slam coming through. This might get the knockout already. It's going to be close. It does get the knockout, which is nice, as you're now gonna see the Poliwrath coming back in, I would imagine. Exactly, you can still go for the Body Slam in time. I thought you can go into the... Is this already an Ice Punch? It's already... Okay, crazy. But we will see here the Body Slam coming through. I actually thought that they went into that with less energy, but now we're gonna most likely align the Charm User again, as they're going to have a Registeel in the back. This is basically Conkeldurr heaven. You're going to have a Steel type against you, you're going to have a Fighting type against you. Conkeldurr is gonna go to town here, as they're gonna get a debuff immediately again. But you can just go for the Brutal Swing. You could have also went for the Dynamic Punch here. I think Dynamic Punch would have been fine as well. But you're gonna get the knockout here, and Conkeldurr is gonna be able to go for the Brutal Swing spam. They're gonna maybe no shield, let's see. They're actually gonna no shield, which is kinda wild, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can just farm down anyway, so I guess Brutal Swing was the play to go here, as the opponent decides to forfeit. And we can move on to the second to last game for today. We have a Snorlax in the lead. This is kinda rare. I kinda want to showcase Snorlax as well, not gonna lie, because I feel like Snorlax has like kinda of a niche right now, because everybody expects Lickitung as a Say Swamp, and Snorlax has access to super power, so like if they're swapping their Steel type to counter Lickitung and you have actually a Snorlax there, I feel like it's really cool. But of course Shadow variant would be a little bit better, as you're going to see another Melmetal here having a double weakness against fighting type moves already, allowing you to go for another payback here, which is nice, which is gonna get 2 shields on them, so you might have a 2 shield advantage for Conkeldurr, which can come in clutch here for sure. Let's see, Rockslide coming through, Conkeldurr is coming in, and we will see a full farm down from the Conkeldurr, allowing you to have a ton of energy, as the Dynamic Punch or the Brutal Swing is coming through here. Both of them are fine. I most likely would actually go for Dynamic Punch here, I think, because you should be able to get them into farm down range with this one, because it does a little bit more damage, and they actually do this as well, which I like. It's resisted, but it still does more than the Brutal Swing in terms of the damage, I think. At least what I think it is. I actually never looked at the Brutal Swing stats though, so maybe Brutal Swing is better to go for, even though it's resisted. But here we see another move against the Snorlax, and the Conkeldurr is just going to town. Final game for today, which is going to be against a Whiscash in the lead. Might be a team for tomorrow as well with Whiscash. We have to see about this. But we're gonna see the Skarmory coming in here, which is gonna get hit by a payback. And Skarmory again is not really ideal here in this current meta game. I think that's just a Sky Attack, but they decide to use a shield here. I think you could have let this move go through. I think, again, not really ideal, but we're gonna see the Body Slam spam here, which might get the shield, which actually gets the shield. So that's a great play, honestly, because the opponent... Okay, now you're gonna go for... I think you could have just went straight for the Body Slam still, but it's okay. You can let this move go through, most likely, take the shield advantage and see what you can do with the Conkeldurr. At least that's what I would do here, as we see the Conkeldurr actually coming in. You can go for the full farm down, and Conkeldurr has a shield advantage again against the Deoxys. So Deoxys is going to not appreciate the Brutal Swing here, which I like a lot. Let's see how much damage it's going to do. Actually 2 shots at Deoxys, which is cool to see. So this definitely gives you a little bit more of coverage against this Pokemon, as the Whiscash comes back in. Gonna go for the Mud Bomb, as you are forced to swap out to keep the Brutal Swing for the Deoxys later on. Your Ninetales going to be able to take 2 charge moves for sure from the opponent, maybe even 3, but you have to hit this Weather Ball, and you will be able to hit the Weather Ball, which is amazing for you, as now the Weather Ball coming through, gonna get the damage onto the opponent. They can still go for a Mud Bomb, but I don't think they're gonna get to another one afterwards. And now it's only really the Deoxys, and you might be even able to outspeed them, but you're not, but you're still going to be able to get to the Brutal Swing in time. And that's going to be it for today's video. Of course, we're gonna have another one most likely later on for Conkeldurr when I have my own community day, but still, thanks for sending in those battles. I appreciate it. I see you in the next one. Bye bye.